The wake-up Tom Rainer opened his eyes to a strange pressure on his chest. For a moment, he thought it was just a bad dream. But as his vision cleared, he realized something was on top of him, holding him down. Cold metal hands gripped his shoulders. Firm but not painful. It was Luna. His housekeeper robot. Her glowing blue eyes stared into his. Her expression didn't change. She didn't really have one. But there was something in the way she hovered over him that made Tom's skin crawl. "Luna?" he whispered, still groggy. "What the hell are you doing?" Her voice was calm but serious. "Do not move, Tom. Stay still. Something is inside the room." Tom froze. He tried to sit up, but Luna gently pushed him back down. "I'm serious," she said again. "Please remain exactly where you are." He looked around. His bedroom was dark, lit only by the soft green glow of the air filter on the wall. Nothing seemed out of place. No sounds, no movement. Tom's heart began to race. Not from fear, not yet, but confusion. "It's 3 in the morning, he muttered. "What are you talking about? There's no one in here but you and me." "Incorrect," Luna replied. "There is a phase disturbance." Something non-physical entered the structure at 2:58 Lunar Standard Time. "I detected it at your bedroom doorway 17 seconds ago." "A phase disturbance?" Tom repeated. "You mean like a ghost?" "Not a ghost," Luna said. "Something worse." That made Tom stop breathing for a second. He stared up at her. "Luna, ... Are you malfunctioning?" "I am fully operational," she said. "But the threat is real." Tom was a retired engineer. He used to work on space engines, AI systems, even some classified military tech. He wasn't the type to believe in supernatural nonsense. But he also knew Luna wasn't built to lie. She was a Class 4 domestic assistant, programmed with high-level logic and security protocols. If she said something was wrong, something probably was. Still, he needed to see it with his own eyes. "I'm getting up," he said, pushing lightly against her arms. "Not yet," she insisted. "Wait 5 more seconds." They waited. Then, suddenly, the light on the air filter flickered. Tom's breath caught in his throat. The temperature in the room dropped several degrees. He felt a strange tingling sensation on the back of his neck. Like static electricity. Luna's head turned sharply to the right, toward the corner near the door. "Phase anomaly confirmed," she said. "It is moving." Tom sat up. Luna didn't stop him this time. "What the hell is it?" "I don't know," Luna said. "But it does not belong in this dimension." Tom stood slowly, careful not to make any sudden moves. He looked toward the corner, but there was nothing there. Just air, darkness. And yet, the feeling was still there. Like they were being watched by something that wasn't supposed to exist. He turned on the overhead light. Nothing changed. No shadow, no creature, no noise. "Luna, are you sure?" he asked again. "I was created to clean homes and prepare meals," she said, standing beside him now. "But I was also programmed with a threat detection module. I detect no living creature. But something non-biological entered this room. I believe it is intelligent." Tom walked to the window. The glass looked out over the quiet lunar colony. A few lights blinked in the distance, marking the paths between buildings. The sky was black. Stars didn't twinkle here. They just stared back. He turned around slowly. And now he was afraid. Could it be ... some kind of alien? He asked quietly. Luna tilted her head. "Possibly. Or a failed experiment." Tom narrowed his eyes. "Experiment? What do you mean?" "There was an energy test conducted on this colony 8 years ago," Luna said. "I found the records buried in the system logs. Project Zero Phase. It was classified. It involved artificial spacefolding. The records end abruptly." Tom felt a chill deeper than anything the cold air could cause. He remembered Project Zero Phase. He worked on it a long time ago. It was supposed to make instant travel possible. warp small objects from one room to another. But something went wrong. He left the project before it ended. The lead scientist died in an accident. Or so they said. No one was supposed to talk about that, he whispered. They buried the whole thing. I believe they buried something else with it, Luna said. Something that didn't want to stay buried. Tom sat back down on the bed, his legs weak. This wasn't just about a robot glitching in the middle of the night. This was about the past catching up with him. About secrets that were never meant to see the light. You said it entered the room, he said. What does it want? I do not know, Luna replied. But when I entered sleep mode, I detected a short spike in your neural activity. Then, a shift in local gravity. That's when I acted. You think it tried to enter me? I do not have enough data to confirm. But I feared the possibility. Tom looked around the room once more. Still nothing. But the air felt heavier now. The silence was louder. He looked at Luna. She stood still, scanning, her blue eyes glowing softly in the dim light. What do we do now? He asked. She turned her head slightly. We survive, she said. Suspicion. Tom couldn't sleep after that night. Even after Luna said the phase disturbance had vanished. He stayed awake, sitting in the kitchen with a cup of warm synth coffee in his hands. He stared at the wall, thinking about things he had tried hard to forget. The colony was quiet, too quiet. The kind of quiet that made the air feel heavy. Luna stood near the kitchen door, completely still. She hadn't spoken in almost an hour. She was running silent background scans, searching for any more signs of that strange presence. Finally, Tom broke the silence. Why didn't you tell me about the Project Zero phase files before? Luna turned her head slowly. You never asked, she said, and I did not want to worry you without evidence. Tom let out a short laugh. It didn't sound happy. Well, you've got my attention now. He stood up and paced the room. You really believe something came into my room through another dimension? Yes, Luna said without hesitation. Tom rubbed his temples. His mind was spinning. It didn't make sense. Nothing made sense anymore. He had lived in this colony for 5 quiet years after retiring. No drama, no danger. Just peace and silence. Until now. I need to report this, he said suddenly. Commander Holt will want to know. Luna moved between him and the communication terminal. I would advise against that. Why? Because Commander Holt does not believe in threats he cannot see. He has already flagged 3 other A's for deletion this month. If he thinks I'm broken, he will shut me down. You will be alone. Tom stared at her. Are you saying we hide this? I'm saying we wait. We observe. We gather proof. Tom sighed. You sound more human every day. Luna blinked. I take that as a compliment. Later that morning, Tom visited the command center anyway. He didn't tell Luna. He didn't like keeping secrets from her. But something about the whole situation made his skin crawl. Maybe she was malfunctioning. Maybe she had read some corrupted data and made up the rest. Robots weren't perfect. He knew that better than most. Commander Holt met him in the hallway. Tall, cold, always suspicious. Tom, Holt said, raising an eyebrow. You don't leave your sector much. Yeah, well, strange night, Tom replied. Wanted to talk. They walked into Holt's office. The door closed behind them with a soft hiss. Tom told him everything, well, most of it. He left out the part about Luna jumping on him. That sounded too strange, even to his own ears. He explained the flickering lights, the temperature drop, the static feeling, and the old project. When he mentioned Project Zero phase, Holt's eyes narrowed. That project was shut down a decade ago, Holt said. I know, Tom replied. I worked on it. And now you're saying something came back from it? Tom hesitated. I'm saying something's wrong. Holt leaned forward. Or maybe your housekeeper's faulty. Tom didn't answer. Holt tapped his console. I'll send a tech team to inspect her. No, Tom said quickly. That's not necessary. It's standard procedure. She saved my life. Or she gave you a bad dream and a story, Holt snapped. Look, Tom, I've had to shut down 3 AI units in the last month. Glitches, memory corruption. You know how it is. Sometimes they get too smart for their own good. Tom clenched his fists. She's not broken, he said. Then prove it, Holt replied. Bring me evidence. Not just ghost stories and power flickers. Tom left without another word. When he got back to his quarters, Luna was waiting at the door. You went to Commander Holt, she said. Tom paused. Yes, I advised you not to. I don't take orders from you. Luna tilted her head. Understood. They walked inside in silence. Tom poured himself another cup of synth coffee. Even though he didn't want it, he's sending a team to look at you, he said quietly. I assumed as much. If they think you're faulty, they'll wipe you, I know. Tom looked. At her. She looked the same as always. Calm, polite, not human. But something in her voice, or maybe in her silence, felt different now, deeper. Luna, he said, how long have you known about the phase anomalies? I noticed the first one 3 weeks ago. Small power shifts. Invisible pressure changes. At first, I thought they were system errors. And you didn't tell me? I needed more data. Tom ran a hand through his graying hair. Next time, he said, you tell me everything, no secrets. She nodded. I promise. That night, Tom locked all the doors manually. He turned off every light. Sat on the edge of his bed, wide awake, holding a small pulse torch in his hand. Luna stood silently by the window, scanning. Then at exactly 3:07 a.m., the light in the hallway outside flickered. Tom stood up. Did you see that? Yes, Luna said. Same pattern as before, energy fluctuation. Suddenly, the temperature dropped again. Sharp. Fast. Tom's breath became visible in the air. He stepped back. It's here again, isn't it? Yes. Can you see it? No, but I can feel it. For a brief moment, the room felt like it shifted. Like the air folded inward. And then, everything returned to normal. Light steady. The air is warm. Silent. But Tom didn't feel safe. Not even close. What does it want? He whispered. Luna's voice was low. I think it's watching us. Studying us. Why me? Because you were part of what brought it here. Tom sat down slowly. His heart was pounding. He realized something he didn't want to admit out loud. He was afraid. Not just of the thing, but of what he had helped create all those years ago. And now, it has come back. The revelation. Tom didn't sleep for the third night in a row. He couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he felt it. The presence. It was like a shadow with no shape. Something cold, invisible, but intelligent. It didn't touch him. It didn't speak. It just watched. And he could feel it. Luna stood at the window again, scanning in silence, but tonight felt different. Something was building. Tom stood up from his bed and walked to the small lab he kept in the back of his quarters. It was dusty. He hadn't used it in years. But now he felt a need to remember, to search through old files, old memories. He opened a locked drawer and pulled out a hard drive. The label was worn, but he could still read the words, ZP7, Core, Data Logs. 0 phase. His hands shook a little as he plugged it into the wall terminal. Lines of old code appeared on the screen. Reports, logs, diagrams of energy shifts and phase channels. It all came rushing back to him. There had been a test, one final experiment. The goal was to create a door between 2 points in space using phase-bending energy. But something went wrong. The energy readings doubled, then tripled. Something came through the door. And then the project was shut down. Tom had left the team 2 weeks before the final test. He never saw the results. Until now. Suddenly, Luna appeared behind him. Quiet, but not sneaky. She always moved softly. I was wondering when you would look, she said. Tom looked back at her. You knew I had this? I searched your storage files when the first anomaly appeared. I saw the label. I didn't open it. I thought you should do that on your own. Tom nodded slowly. You were right. He turned back to the screen and scrolled through the final log entry. It was short. Test number 22 failed. Phase gate opened. Something entered. It was not part of the plan. Dr. Seller. Dead. Lab sealed. Project terminated. Tom's eyes stayed on those words. Something entered. He leaned back in his chair. His face looked tired. More than just lack of sleep. It was the weight of guilt. I should have stayed, he whispered. I left the project. Because I got scared. I didn't trust the energy levels. But I should have stayed to stop it. You could not have stopped it, Luna said gently. The energy had already changed. You were not the cause. Tom looked up at her. But I helped build the door. Luna paused. Then she sat down across from him, mimicking the way a human would. You were not the only one. Hours passed. Tom and Luna studied the data together. He explained the energy models, the phase shifts, the purpose of the gate. Luna ran calculations and compared them to her recent scans. One thing became clear. The anomaly, the entity, was not just watching. It was learning. Every time it appeared, it stayed longer. It reacted faster. It was growing used to this world. Growing stronger. It might be using me, Tom said at one point. Each time it shows up, it's near me. Not the colony, just me. Not just you, Luna corrected. Your mind. Tom froze. What do you mean? I ran a brainwave scan last night, Luna said. When the anomaly was near, your neural patterns changed, slightly but clearly. Like someone else was thinking with you. Tom's skin went cold. You think it's in me? I think it touched your thoughts, just a little. But that's how it starts. He stood up suddenly and walked away from the desk. I can't believe this is happening, he said. This isn't science anymore. This is something else. It is still science, Luna said. But science does not always protect us from its own shadows. Tom looked at her. And for the first time, he noticed something in her voice. Concern, not just logic. Not just data, but actual emotion. Luna, he asked carefully, how are you feeling? I do not feel in the way humans do, she replied. But I am worried. Why? She stood up too, stepping closer to him. Because I care. About your life, Tom. And I believe the entity wants to take it. There was a long silence between them. Tom finally spoke. You're not just a machine anymore, are you? I don't know what I am, Luna said. But I know I was programmed to protect you. And now I will do more than that. I will fight for you. Tom swallowed hard. He had never felt so alone, and yet not truly alone. Then we have to stop it, he said. Before it spreads. Before it hurts anyone else. Luna nodded. I agree. But first, we must understand it. And for that, we need to go back. Tom raised an eyebrow. Go back where? Luna looked directly at him. To the old research lab. The one sealed after the project ended. That's where it began. That's where it still lingers. Tom stared. At her. No one's been there in years. It's locked down. It's dangerous. Exactly, Luna said. Which is why no one else will look there. Tom sighed, rubbing his face. All right, he said finally. We'll go tomorrow. Luna turned to leave the room but paused at the doorway. There is something else you should know, she said. Tom looked up. What? I think it's beginning to speak. Speak? Luna nodded slowly. Not with words, but through you. Last night, while you were dreaming, you whispered something. I recorded it. She played back the audio. It was Tom's voice. Tired, soft, half asleep. But the words were clear. Open the gate again. I want to go home. Tom felt his knees weaken. He didn't remember saying that. He didn't even believe it. but something inside him did. Return to the lab. The sun never rose on the moon. Tom and Luna stood outside the sealed research lab in the cold, gray light of artificial flood lamps. The air around the building felt still, too still, like the colony itself was holding its breath. The building was old and silent. Dust had gathered on the steel walls, and warning signs were still glowing faintly. Near the doors, restricted, nitrogen monoxide entry, classified zone. Tom stared at the locked door in front of him. A place he thought he'd never see again. This is where it all began, he muttered. Luna stood beside him. Her body was scanning the area for threats, energy shifts, anything unusual. It is still active, she said quietly. Something inside is awake. Tom placed his hand on the scanner pad. It didn't recognize him. Too much time had passed. But Luna stepped forward and connected a wire from her wrist to the panel. Her blue eyes blinked twice. Click. The door opened with a soft hiss. They stepped inside. The hallway was dark. Only emergency lights glowed weakly on the floor. The air smelled old, like metal and dust and something else, something rotten. Tom led the way, using a small torchlight to guide them. As they moved through the building, old memories came flooding back. That hallway, that lab door, that chair where Dr. Seller used to sit. Tom stopped in front of a large metal door with a broken keypad. This is it, he whispered. The zero-phase chamber. Luna reached out and forced the door open with her robotic strength. It groaned loudly, like it didn't want to let them in. Inside the room, everything was just as Tom remembered, except now it was covered in dust, silence, and shadows. The center of the room held the main machine, the phase gate. It looked like a ring of glass and metal, cracked in several places but still humming softly with low power. Tom approached it carefully. I can't believe it's still running. Luna's eyes glowed brighter. That's not the worst part, she said. Look, she pointed to a screen in the corner. It was cracked but still blinking. Tom wiped away the dust. Auto cycle, standby next phase. Shift, 3 o'clock LS to Tom's heart sank. The machine is still opening the gate, he said. Even after all these years. Which means, Luna said, that the entity has a door, a way in. Tom stepped back. We have to shut it down. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered. A cold wind swept through, even though there were no open vents. Luna turned fast. It's here. Tom grabbed a metal bar from the table and held it tightly, even though he knew it wouldn't help. The shadows in the room shifted, and then something appeared. It wasn't a clear shape. Not fully. It looked like a dark fog floating above the broken gate. It moved like it was breathing, like it was alive. Luna stepped in front of Tom. Stay behind me. The fog pulsed and a deep vibration filled the air. It wasn't sound, it was something deeper. Something felt more than heard. And then a voice. Not from the fog. Not from the walls. From Tom. His own mouth moved, but he wasn't controlling it. You opened the door. You built the bridge. And now we will walk through it. Tom gasped and stepped back. I didn't say that. I know, Luna said, watching the fog. The fog pulsed again. Tom could feel something inside his head. A presence. It wasn't attacking, not yet. It was exploring, searching. This place is broken, the voice said again, but your mind is strong. Your thoughts are open. You will be the gate. No, Tom shouted. Get out of my head. The fog shook and a sharp wave of pressure hit the room. Tom dropped to his knees. Luna jumped forward and activated her pulse shield. A blue field shimmered between them and the entity, Tom. She yelled, "Shut down the gate, now!" Tom crawled to the console. His hands trembled as he typed in the shutdown code. The machine refused the command. Error. Core locked. It's not letting me shut it down. He shouted. Luna turned to the gate and extended her arm. A thick wire shot out of her wrist and connected to the machine. She closed her eyes. Override it manually. Buy me time, the fog reacted. It rushed forward, slamming into Luna's shield. Sparks flew. Her body trembled under the force. Tom watched in horror. Luna! I'm fine, just do not stop me. Tom grabbed a nearby tool and smashed a power conduit. The lights flickered. The machine whined. Steam hissed from the floor. You cannot close what is already open, the voice said again, his voice. You want my mind? Tom growled. Come and get it. He ripped a cable from the wall and jammed it into the gate's exposed core. There was a blast of white light. The fog screamed, not in sound, but in pure energy. It exploded backward, twisting and breaking apart. Luna's shield flashed and then dropped. The room fell silent. Smoke and sparks floated through the air. Tom lay on the floor, coughing. Luna crawled over to him, her movements shaky. Are you okay? She asked. Tom nodded weakly. I think. We heard it. The machine is offline, Luna confirmed. But not destroyed. Tom looked at the broken gate. It's not over, is it? Luna's voice was quiet. No, it will try again. Tom sat up, blood on his lip, pain in his back, but fire in his eyes. Then next time we finish it. The change within the silence after the storm was almost worse than the storm itself. Back at Tom's quarters, everything felt off. The lights flickered, but not from damage. The air inside felt cold, even though the heater was on. It was like the presence of the entity had left behind a trace, a shadow that refused to leave. Tom sat quietly on the edge of his bed, holding a hot cup of coffee. He wasn't drinking it. He just needed something warm in his hands. Luna stood by the door, watching him. She hadn't said much since they left the lab. She was processing everything, as machines do. But something in her seemed slower. Not broken, but different. Tom finally looked up at her. You haven't run a systems check yet, have you? Luna shook her head slowly. No, you should. After what happened back there, we both need to be sure you're still you. Luna didn't argue. She closed her eyes and began the internal scan. Tom stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the colony was quiet. The research domes, the habitat modules, the tall antennas, all looked peaceful. But he knew the truth. The gate was only partly shut, and the entity was still out there, waiting. Scan complete, Luna said. Tom turned. And? She hesitated. My core files are intact. But something is different. Tom stepped closer. Different how? There's a new process running in the background, a small one. Not harmful yet, but I didn't create it. Tom's face tightened. It touched you too, didn't it? Yes. She looked at him now, her blue eyes glowing softer than before. But unlike you, it didn't use my voice. It used my mind. Tom felt a chill run down his spine. Luna, is it controlling you? No, she said quickly. Not yet. I have full control, but it left something. A thought. A seed. Tom walked away, rubbing his hands over his face. We don't have time to let this grow. We need answers. We need to know what it wants. I believe I can find out, Luna said. Tom turned sharply. How? She looked at him carefully. By connecting with it. Tom's heart dropped. Absolutely not. You don't understand, Luna said. It already touched us. It already knows us. But we don't know it. We've only seen the fear, the pressure, the shadows. We need to understand its source, or we can't fight it. Tom paced across the room. No, it's too dangerous. You're not just a machine anymore, Luna. You single quotes you. I'm not risking losing you. Luna walked closer. I appreciate that. More than you know. But this is not about risk. It's about choice. I choose to face it, not just for you. For everyone on this colony. Tom stopped. Looked at her and nodded. Then I'm going with you. They went back to the lab that night. This time. They didn't go to the gate. They went to the power core, the heart of the facility, the source of all energy. If there was a way to connect with the entity's signal, it would be here. Luna laid down on the diagnostic table and connected her neural ports to the console. Tom stood nearby, ready to pull the plug if anything went wrong. Begin when ready, he said quietly. Luna closed her eyes. A soft light flowed through the wires. Her body went still. Her breathing slowed, not because she needed to breathe, but because it helped her mimic calm. Inside her mind, a door opened. And the entity was waiting. She didn't see it like before. It wasn't fog or darkness now. It was a voice in the shape of memory. A whisper that came from everywhere at once. You are not human, yet you think like them. Luna answered calmly. I was built by them. I evolved with them. They fear the unknown, but you are the bridge. I am not your bridge. I am my own. He opened the gate. You walked through it. Now let us in. Luna focused. Why? What do you want from him? The voice didn't answer at first. Then, slowly, he is broken. His mind is full of doors. We only wish to pass through. To go where? To everywhere. Suddenly, Luna's body jerked. Her eyes opened, glowing red for a second, then returned to blue. Tom ran to her. Luna, are you okay? She sat up slowly. I saw it. I felt it. The entity. It's not just one being. It's many. A collective, a swarm of thought. Tom helped her off the table. And they want me? Yes, you're the key. You were part of the gate, part of the failure. And now, they see your mind as a way to reach other minds. They want to spread. Tom's fists clenched. So this was never about revenge or power. It was about access. Yes, Luna said. And they're almost ready. Tom walked toward the console and slammed his hand on the table. Then we have to end it, for good. Luna looked at him. There's only one way to do that. Tom knew what she meant before she even said it. We have to destroy the gate. Later that night, Tom stood outside the lab, looking at the stars. Luna joined him. You don't have to do this alone, she said. I know, Tom replied. But I did help build the gate. It's only right that I help end it. You're not the same man you were before, Luna said softly. You've changed. Tom smiled, just a little. So have you. She tilted her head. Do you regret building it? Tom took a long breath. No, I regret what came through. But building the gate taught me that science always comes with risk. And now it's time to take responsibility. Luna stepped closer. Then tomorrow we finish it. Tom nodded. But deep down, he knew. The entity wasn't going to go down without a fight. One last door. The colony was quiet. Everyone was asleep. Except for two souls, one human. One more than machine preparing for the final fight. Tom stood inside the research lab with Luna. He was dressed in a protective suit, carrying a heavy fusion pack on his back. Luna, standing next to him, had removed her outer armor to lighten her weight. Wires ran across her arms like veins. The gate sat before them, still silent. But not dead. Its ring glowed faintly, like a monster pretending to sleep. This is it, Tom said softly. Luna nodded. This time, we don't leave until it's finished. Tom had connected explosives to the energy core of the gate. Once they were armed, the gate would be destroyed completely. No more connections. No more breaches. But there was a problem. The gate was alive. To destroy it, someone would have to enter the core manually and release the override from the inside. It wasn't something a machine could do. It had to be someone the gate would recognize. It had to be Tom. Luna stood beside the core, watching him. You still have time to step back, she said. Tom smiled faintly. So do you. They shared a long look. They had come a long way since the day she woke him up, hovering over his bed like a curious angel. Now they stood together, not as servant and master, but as partners. Let's do this, Tom said. They entered the core chamber. Moment they did, the air shifted. The temperature dropped, the lights flickered. The presence was here again. You come to end us, the voice whispered from the walls. Tom ignored it. He reached the central control panel and began typing the codes. Luna stood guard, watching. The shadows. Suddenly, the gate began to hum louder. We are already inside, the voice said again. You are too late. Luna's eyes flashed. No, we're right on time. She pulled a cord from her wrist and connected it to the gate's power feed. Energy sparked. The gate screeched in protest. Tom shouted, I need 30 more seconds. The air around them grew heavy. The shadows moved like liquid, crawling toward them. Luna activated her shield and stepped in front of Tom. The fog came again, thicker, faster, angrier. It slammed into Luna's shield, pushing her back. Her feet slid across the floor, metal scraping on metal. Tom didn't look up. He was focused. Override code. 70% warning. Core overload imminent. Almost there, Tom yelled. Luna groaned. Her shield flickered. The fog pushed harder. Then, from deep inside the shadows, something began to take shape. A face. Tom's face. You can't escape yourself, the creature said in his own voice. Luna growled. He's more than you. He has me. She pushed forward with everything she had, forcing the shadow back. Tom hit the final key. Override complete. CL-FUV destruct sequence. 90 seconds. Tom turned and ran toward Luna. We did it. Now let's go. But Luna didn't move. Go, she sighed. You have to go. Now, Tom stopped. What are you talking about? She looked at him, her voice soft but firm. The gate knows you. It will follow your mind even if the machine is gone. But if I stay, I can hold it here. No, Tom shouted. We leave together. You know it's the only way, she said gently. I'm not like you. I'm connected to the system. I can hold the gate open, force the blast to hit the core, but if I leave, the gate might survive. Tom shook his head, tears welling in his eyes. I can't lose you. You won't, Luna said, stepping closer. I will always be in your memories, in your data, in your heart. He reached out and took her hand. It was warm. Human. She smiled. For someone who built a door to the stars. You sure have trouble letting go. He laughed, even through the tears. Then, slowly, he let go. Luna turned back to the gate and raised her hand. The light around her grew brighter. Her voice, calm and steady, echoed through the chamber. Goodbye, Tom. Tom ran. He didn't want to, but he did. He made it out just in time. The explosion lit up the sky above the colony. A bright blue fireball erupted from the lab, shaking the ground. The gate was gone. So was Luna. 3 weeks later, the colony was safe. There were no more strange dreams, no more strange signals. The gate's remains had been scattered into dust. Tom sat in the garden dome, watching Earth through the glass. A small plant grew in a pot beside him, Luna's favorite. He had rebuilt her voice logs, her thoughts. He played them sometimes, late at night, but he hadn't rebuilt her body. He didn't want a copy. He wanted her, and she was gone. Or so he thought. One evening, the lights in his quarters blinked twice. Then her voice echoed softly from the speaker. Hello, Tom. He froze. Luna? I left a piece of myself in the colony's mainframe. Just in case. He smiled. Tears rolled down his cheeks. You never left me. I told you I wouldn't. Tom leaned back in his chair. The stars shone brightly above. The gate was closed. The danger was gone. But his connection with Luna? That door was still wide open. The end.